Good morning, everybody. It's Michelle over at Hesketh Emporium and Hesketh Handmade and Headbands for Heroes and all that good stuff. I wanted to give everybody a quick update on how the cleanup in the sewing room and the re-layout has gone. When you come into the room from the passageway, I still haven't done the door, but I will redo that soon. You've now got two large tables in front of you. And these are for sewing at, as well as I've got a very, very large, is this an A0, I think, cutting mat on here. So I can do my cutting out. My projector would go against the wall over there. I've got an ultra short throw projector, and that would then cast a picture of the pattern onto the surface here of my material. And then I simply cut around the design. So I don't have to have paper patterns and all that cutting and pasting, etc. anymore. That's that. Underneath, unfortunately, it's still very messy because that's all of my different types of elastics that I use for headbands and for underwear, lingerie, all sorts of things, and just generally dressmaking. That bin is there for all my fabric scraps. On the table at the moment, I've probably laid it out how I'll use it, but it will probably change in the future once I get used to the new space. This is my Husqvarna, which I use for different things. It makes great buttonholes. It's got nice features like it lifts the foot automatically and it lowers the foot automatically. So that's good for repetitive things that if you're doing quilting or whatever. So that's a lovely machine for that. Over there behind the blue covers, they probably don't have proper covers yet. They're just old hubby's old t-shirts. That is a cover lock stitch over there, and that one over there is the overlocker. And they will just get pulled forward when they're needed. That one over there is my Juki, which is the newest machine age-wise in my sewing room. And I bought that because for the price you get incredible features on it, and it is a lovely sewing machine for general sewing dressmaking use. That is my Bernina Virtuoso 160, which I just love. Going to probably use that for quilting and free motion embroidery and things because it's got a knee lift with it, and that's really useful. So if I swing you to the left now, when I come into the room on your left-hand side, I have got a real mess behind the door there, but let's ignore that for now. Patterns. So all of those boxes up here are patterns, different types of patterns. So you can see how much of a space saving it is to do the projection of your patterns rather than paper versions. I won't throw those away, or gift them rather, should I say, until I'm absolutely 100% sure I don't need them. And then what I'll do is go through them, choose the ones that I absolutely love and will definitely keep, and whittle the rest down and gift them to other people. At the top over here, you can see that is a roll of batting hoisted to the top using a bicycle hoist at the moment. All sorts of other things up there. We have got my yarn in a CD rack over there, and there's another one behind the door as well for my knitting yarns and crochet yarns. And then in this third one over here, I keep a large portion of my fat quarters. Then in this shelving unit, I've got different things. The top shelf's got upholstery fabrics. The middle one is just, next one down rather, has got just all sorts of whites. There's a lot of canvas and velvet and all sorts in there. This shelf with all the dark colours are blues and dark colours. These are all 100% wool, Harris tweed and that type of thing. And then the next shelves down and behind the ironing board, you will see all stretch fabrics as well. Then we've got the ironing board, which is invaluable for a sewing room, and a fantastic steam generator iron, which is something that seriously I wish I'd had 20, 30 years ago, but they weren't invented yet. Then underneath a sneaky couple of machines which are going to new homes. They've been refurbished and I've gifted them to a couple of people. Then here, seriously, look at all that. That's just Christmas packaging and all sorts. That'll go at some point in the future once I find a new home for it. Then the corner cupboard is filled with all sorts of crafting and sewing accessories. We've got glues, spray paints, all sorts on the top shelf. The second shelf, more spray paints, glues, temporary adhesives for quilting, all sorts of things in tins and that as well. So the next shelf down, we've got tons of beading, all of my machines that I use for different things. So we've got hot glue guns, we've got staple guns, you name it, on those shelves. And then the rest of the shelves down here are filled with tins with haberdashery things. So we've got leather scraps, covered button kits, we've got buckles and rings, we've got zips, beading, blinds and curtains things. You name it, they're all in tins over there, reasonably neatly stashed. Then this is my new shelving unit, which has got a whole range of different Berninas, which I'm currently refurbishing, and some of them will get sold as well. That's just the cover for the machine I'm working on at the moment. And over here, these are all my tools and my things and spare parts for sewing machines that I refurbish. On the window ledge, I've got rulers for quilting and for cutting, and various other hardware pieces, including a cam snap fastener, a big heavy duty one, and a beautiful little vintage machine which I'm going to restore as well. Dolly over there that was made by my granddaughter, and over here is the Bernina 1000 Special, which I sew with most days. At the moment on the table I've got a quilt that I'm working on for one of my grandchildren, masks, fabric masks and face coverings for the HeskethEmporium.com, and headbands for Heroes, plus a few of my gorgeous scissors. William, these are Whiteley's, this is Wilkinson's. Oh gosh, they're just beautiful, all of them. My lovely shears. Little drawers full of things like rotary cutter blades, feet for different sewing machines, all sorts. A little display of cotton reels, some buttons up there, because at the moment I have no idea what I'm doing with them. And as you can see, living in a very old house, holes in the roof from where the rain used to come in. Fabric, not been tidied up yet. This is all headbands for Heroes fabrics that I'm working on. Boxes filled with things such as zips. We've got Velcro, we've got interfacing in another box, we've got wadding in a box, all sorts of different things. And then reels of fabric over there that go out to our lovely makers. And another machine which is sneakily down there. This box contains scraps of fabric that can get used for quilting. The top there, just a few more buttons and a little machine on display. And she's also a donor machine. It's a Bernina Nova. Tins and bits and pieces. This little sideboard here is filled with lingerie fabric and swimwear fabrics. And this one here, small pieces of fabric, laces, all of that, more elastic, a lot of fold over elastic. My Mac, which I used for viewing the internet and listening to music and stuff while I'm sewing. Some nice things on display, more fabrics, some teddy bears that I made a few years back, accessories, seriously, industrial sewing machine over there, and a table that collapses, but I use that quite a lot, so I'll leave it up at the moment. Tins that I'm going to be covering for putting pens and rotary cutters, etc. into, and then this is the other side of the sewing machines, and then a little shelving unit, and above which we've got industrial threads and embroidery threads for the machines, and most of this is cottons for quilting and projects that we make it handmade. So at the bottom here we do have a few more boxes. They've got projects that I'm working on and things like that. In the corner behind the door, a very untidy, yet to be dealt with ribbon rack. So that is everything in the sewing room at the moment. Bit of work still to go, but at least I can get in now. My wheelchair gets around really nicely. I can get to the different machines that I use all the time. So that's why we've got these different 5 machines on the table. And I use those for different things. So they are there on a more permanent basis. So there's still a bit to do, but I still can get in here now and I can do what I need to do, which is some work. And the first thing on the cards today is make some more underwear for the hubster and also finish putting this quilt together. So that is my sewing room for now. And I must say, I'm really happy. I'm so glad to be able to have a bit of space that I can get to again. And let's see how long I can keep it tidy for. That's always the challenge. Have a wonderful day, everybody. All my love, Michelle at Headbands for Heroes, Hesketh Emporium and Hesketh Handmade. Bye.